I was going to go to the police academy.
Right.
And I had this decision, one path to criminal justice, have this set kind of stable position, or this whole content thing.
You're like the epitome of like living the dream.
The never-ending process it's always what's next.
I make YouTube videos.
I know,
and
right?
they look at me like, what?
And they had invited me to go with them for Auto Salon, and that was like changed my life forever.
Yeah.
Like I knew that like I want to be here. The car looks stock.
Yes.
But underneath it is a complete beast, right? And that's what I love so much, is it's very under the radar. If there's any takeaway from, what I do or what I show on the channel, is that you can do it. Project's a project, and it's what you make it.
You've dabbled in motorsports too.
I've developed this intense love for racing. Time attack, grid life. Probably one of my coolest experiences was racing in One Lap of America. And now I'm racing in some wheel-to-wheel races. If I've taught myself anything, is that I can freaking do it.
Hey everyone, today on The Creative Drive, we're sitting down with one of the most recognized faces in the JDM and automotive creator scene, Dustin Williams. From building dream cars in Japan to documenting high-quality build series here in the US, Dustin has carved out a space where passion meets realizing your dreams. He's grown a massive following by staying true to his roots, sharing the highs and lows in between. And we talk about how he built his brand, what drives his creativity, and what's next for Dustin. Remember to like and subscribe. This is my interview with Dustin Williams. Dustin, 久しぶり。元気ですか? Congratulations on all your success. I mean, I think we collaborated about 5 years ago on GT Channel. We did that thing where, you were talking about driving your GT-R in Japan.
Yep.
But it's been a while since then. Your channel has grown. I think your stable of cars have also grown.
It's never ending, man.
Can you just let some of our viewers know who you are and like what you do?
Absolutely. So what's up, everybody? My name is Dustin Williams. I like to build and race cars and make videos on the internet. It's much broader than that, but the gist of it, I love cars to its core. So building them, racing them, driving them, and I create content for all the social platforms, making YouTube videos, and now with all the short form stuff, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff, and just trying to put my passion out there and put a little bit of what I love out there for people to see.
Hey there, quick break from the drive to share something I'm genuinely excited about. If you live and breathe car culture like I do, you've got to check out Racer Plus. It's the new streaming platform for motorsports, rally, off-road, drifting, bikes, it's all there. We stream every stage of the World Rally Championship, Full Dakar Rally, Crandon Off-Road, DTM, Le Mans, World Superbike, the Isle of Man TT, and even Formula Drift. FD fans, this one's for you. It's all in one place, even these podcasts. And here's the kicker. You can bundle Racer Plus with a full year Racer magazine subscription. That's 6 beautifully designed collectible issues delivered to your door. It's one of the few magazines out there that still feels like a piece of art. I even contribute to the magazine too, and we're really proud of this product. So whether you're into drifting like I am or off-road like I am too, just inspired by the stories behind the scene, this bundle hits everyone. Head over to racer.com/bundle and sign up now. Let's keep driving the car culture forward. So when did your passion for cars start?
Oh my gosh. Really ever since I can remember. I grew up in that era where Fast and Furious was just coming out, and I was a kid at that point. So I was really like that staple point when Fast and Furious kind of hit. And my dad took me to see it. And my dad was a huge car guy, so he was the person that got me into it. But when I really feel like cars stuck with me was around when I was, 14, 15. That's when Tokyo Drift was coming out. And for me, that was, the coolest movie of all time, right? I was already a car guy. That movie came out. I taught me about drifting, taught me about Japan, the car culture in Japan. Kind of already had this love for Japan. I'm just a nerd. My dad's a nerd, car guys. But he got me into Godzilla. And Godzilla kind of just like opened up this whole new imaginative world for me as a kid. And I just ended up loving Japan from watching Godzilla and all the dubs and everything. And so when Tokyo Drift came out, it mixed this love that I had for cars. My dad was a muscle car guy. So my first ever car that I loved was a Mustang. Very funny. But when I saw Tokyo Drift, it opened up this whole new world for me of cars in Japan. And I feel like that's when this switch turned in my head is like, I want to do that. I want to do what those guys are doing, driving in the mountains of Japan or in general and all the Japanese tuning cars. So I really feel like my real love for cars came when I was like 14, 15-ish, and that's when it turned on for me.
This is Racer, your all-access pass to the best in motorsports, performance, and car culture. Get Racer Plus for live races, extended highlights, breaking news, and fan-favorite build and enthusiast shows, all in one place. From Formula Drift to off-road mayhem.
A full-blown nail-biter.
Supercars to grassroots brawls. Garages to rare collectors. Stream it all, anytime, anywhere. This is about machines and the people who move the culture forward. And when the screen fades, the story continues in Racer Magazine, a collectible trusted by champions, creators, and connoisseurs. Every page, a deeper dive into the soul of speed and performance. Racer Plus and Racer Magazine, the ultimate bundle. Built for the obsessed, powered by passion.
So you are now based in San Diego, right?
Sort of, yeah. I was in San Diego, and I'm now currently in Temecula.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But you're not originally from California, right?
No, yeah. So it's kind of a long story. I'm originally from New Orleans, Louisiana, and around when I was 10, moved to Mississippi and was there until I graduated college. And at 21, I moved out to California.
And were you already creating car content when you moved over here? I'm imagining that was a kind of a big leap to come over here. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. So you just want to go into the whole story here?
Yeah, good to go
okay,
for it, man.
Yeah, so it's awesome. Ever since I was a kid as well, I've loved film. I just loved being on the camera. My mom would record me in the backyard acting like I was, Steve Irwin, talking about trees or whatever. Yeah. So I just had always loved the camera. And so I always had one with me, in high school and even before that, I would make skits with my friends and, funny story and kind of something that got me into making YouTube videos is our English teacher in high school in 10th grade allowed me to, instead of write essays, create skits of the books that we were reading with my friends and show them to the class. So I was just always the kid that had the camera, taking photos, making videos. And when I got my first car, I decided, hey, I already am, making videos. I just want to film what I'm doing on my car and doing the modifications. And at this time, this was back in, 2012, 2013-ish. Like YouTube was brand new. This is like the very early stages of YouTube. Yeah. And at that point, that was really like the only way to get your content out there and share your content. So I was like, yeah, I'm already making skits. Let me just film some stuff on my car. And that's when I kind of fell in love with, modifying and showing what I'm doing with my car. And that eventually evolved as, my knowledge and as time grew in the automotive industry, when you had all of these different automotive medias coming out, like Stance Nation, Tuner Revolution, all of that. And you kind of see them posting photos and videos of their car shows. I was like, oh, that's really cool. I want to experience that. So I started going to car shows and making videos and taking photos at car shows. And that kind of expanded into me becoming a freelance videographer and photographer. So this is all in the span of, high school, going into college. I was just shooting my friends' cars and shooting my car, putting videos on the internet like YouTube and stuff, which is really cool because you can go to my channel and, go back to my earliest video and see, the progression of 16-year-old Dustin to, where we're at now. Yeah. But anyways, I just did this on the side, this was back when you had business cards. You needed business cards back then.
Yeah.
So I would see a cool car at college, and I would leave a business card in their window and hope that they give me a call, and that's how I would find cars to shoot.
Right.
It's so funny. I feel like it's not that long ago, but I mean, I guess, 15 years ago was a long time. So
Yeah, time flies,
it's
right?
crazy. Literally business cards, which is cool. I still have them. Anyways, I got a lot of business from doing that, which was really, really cool.
Yeah.
I had never started anything like that before, and it really turned into my own business, which eventually turned into Legends Media.
Right.
So Legends was my creative outlet for making money from doing what I love. I was finally like doing something I loved, and people were noticing it, and locally, which is cool.
Yeah.
So I just made a bunch of videos of cars that I found around town and traveled to different car shows, whether it was 10 hours away or 30 minutes away. I just loved this. I loved creating, and I had a huge passion for cars, and it was cool that I got to put them both together.
Yeah.
And little did I know that when doing that, social media was also going to be on the rise as well.
Yeah.
So me not thinking anything of it, of just wanting to share my work and hopefully some people see my work, turned into, this weird online algorithm that pushed it to a lot of different people.
Yeah.
So in college, I was just posting maybe, like once a month, and people were enjoying it, and I was getting comments, and they were like, oh, I want to see you do this to your car. Can you tell us how you shoot this kind of content? So, I was modifying my car and also telling people how I film things and doing behind the scenes stuff. And through college, I just gained this really awesome following. I think I remember it. It's, I made a video of unboxing my exhaust for my Subaru WRX. I sold the Civic, got a Subaru, and that's really like, people love Subarus. There's a huge following. Right. So I noticed a big influx of viewership when I got the Subaru, but really it's when I got this titanium exhaust and unboxed it, I remember that was the first video that I had ever quote unquote hit the algorithm, went a little viral. First day was 10,000 views. Next day was 50,000 views and 100,000 views, and I saw the subscribers rise. I was like, what is going on? What is this?
The hockey stick, right?
Yeah, and from that point, I kind of had this following that just watched everything that I was doing, and it turned into this community, and then it turned into, oh wow, I can modify my car now. I have a little bit.
Was YouTube always your main platform?
It was always YouTube. Yeah. I did Instagram. YouTube were the two main social media entities then. So I always did that, and YouTube, and then eventually followed Instagram. The viewers would come from YouTube to Instagram and follow what I was doing, and eventually, to make a long story short, I was able to have this small income from YouTube, which was in 2013, unheard of.
Yeah, not a lot of people were making money.
Yeah, you're a stupid nerd for making videos on YouTube. And all my friends in college would make so much fun of me because they'd see me filming myself or see me, putting stickers on my Honda Civic in the parking lot and videoing it. But I was able to start modifying and doing cool things to my cars. Ordering bumpers from Japan and all these things that you dream of as a new car enthusiast. I was able to do from YouTube. So when that happened, I was also still doing freelance videography. And I had a couple of different unique opportunities to come out to California. One of my good friends, and considered him a little brother, Tanner Fox, found my videos on YouTube, and he had hurt his leg at the time and actually commented on one of my edits that I made on YouTube. Was like, hey, I'm getting my car wrapped. Do you want to come film the reveal? And Dustin in Mississippi, little 17, 18-year-old Dustin gets a comment from someone that has, millions of followers and that has followed, his build for a while. It gets that comment, like, holy this is cool, I messaged him back, and, a week later I was on a plane to California, and that was my first time ever in California. I slept on the floor in his room, and we made a dope ass video. And that kind of grounded me a little bit in California. From there, I got to meet a bunch of the other content creators out here, and that eventually led to getting offered a sort of part-time position out here to work with another company called Throttle. I was their videographer at the very, very beginning of everything. And they kind of gave me the opportunity to move out to California for a amount and allow me to also do my freelance on the side.
Okay.
So, I had finished college. This was, I got the job offer maybe a month before I graduated, and I went to school for criminal justice. I have my entire family is law enforcement, and I had always been around my dad who's in the FBI, and that's something that I really, really wanted to do.
Right.
So I graduated in criminal justice, and I was going to go to the police academy.
Right.
And I had this decision, again, naive Dustin, never traveled really anywhere in his life, and just had known one thing: could take this one path to criminal justice, have this set kind of stable position, or I leave my friends and my family and I take this risk to move out and try this whole content thing. Again, this is the beginning before YouTube could be considered a job or social media in general.
Yeah.
And luckily for me, I have a lot of really good friends, and my parents are very, very supportive. And it was one of those things, if I don't do it now, I don't think I will ever have the opportunity to do it again. Yeah. And I knew in my heart that this is something I'd always loved. I couldn't have imagined being in the position that I was, and I knew it was something that I just kind of had to try out and do. Yeah. So I said, I'm gonna give myself 2 weeks. Yeah. Which is, now that I look at it, just so stupid, because that's not a lot of time at all. But I was like, I'm gonna give myself 2 weeks. If I like it, I'll stay, Okay. And so I had a friend, and one of my best friends, Danny, he flew out from California to Mississippi and drove with me from Mississippi to California. I loaded up my Subaru WRX with everything I possibly could and everything that I owned, and drove up to California. No, which is not a lot. If you pack a Subaru WRX, it's not a lot. I had built this car from YouTube again to my dream, how I had always envisioned it. But to make this happen, I had to make sacrifices. So I sold a bunch of the parts off the car. It looked all goofy. It was high. I had a wide body kit with stock wheels, so goofy. But yeah, we packed up my car. We made this awesome road trip. We stopped everywhere. Grand Canyon, weird, small towns.
Shot everything, obviously, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we just made this awesome road trip out of it. And long story short, I ended up living with him at his parents' house on his parents' couch for 6 months. Okay. Working for Throttle and doing my freelance videography until I was eventually able to branch off and do this full time.
How long were you at Throttle?
I would say about six months to a year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Was Mickey already
yes.
there?
Yep. Mickey was one of the big reasons why I stayed. I had made a trip out prior to them offering me the position, and I did a documentary showcasing Throttle and what Throttle was. And Mickey was kind of like, you need to do this, you know?
Right.
So
at that time, what was this, 2013, 2014? At the
it was,
time?
maybe 2013 to that 2017 era.
Yeah. That's when YouTube was starting to really, really explode as a platform, right? I remember, I'm older than you, so I would be talking to some other parents at my son's school, right? And they'd ask me what I do, and I'd say I make YouTube videos.
I know,
and
right?
they would look at me like, "What? I was like, what are you, idiot?"
Exactly.
They had no idea. So.
I don't think we even really knew what was, what this could have been, right? It was just a medium to get your content, right? People to see it.
Yeah. So people would just look at me like I had two heads, right?
Exactly. It was so embarrassing, right? People were like, "What are you filming for?" YouTube. Nerd,
you idiot.
Yeah.
Why don't you watch TV?
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
Now YouTube's the biggest platform on TV as well. So your videos started to take off, right? And then what happens next though? What was your journey is so interesting because you start going to Japan, right? And you start collecting a bunch of cars, but how did that happen though?
Gosh, that's a loaded question. Yeah. So I think I have a very large passion for cars and creating. And so I started building cars and doing it more regularly. And as I was starting to generate revenue, I had to start thinking of new ways to progress the channel and, continue what I'm doing.
Yep.
So back then, automotive YouTube is still very, very new. Even now, there's no set path. There's no right or wrong way. You just kind of figure it out as you go.
Yeah.
And at that time, I knew that I loved what I was doing, and I knew that I wanted to continue doing it. And I was still doing freelance. I was still building cars, and I just really enjoyed wrenching and, kind of putting the effort that I was taking to create these awesome videos for other brands, but put them into my own content and, film these cinematic videos of what I'm doing in the shop. So I kind of focused my efforts into that, and people really, really enjoyed the showing, just being a car guy, building cars, making mistakes, breaking stuff. And, that's how it kind of started. I, built my WRX as far as I wanted it to go, and it was like, what's next, right? So I feel like that's kind of the never-ending process. It's always what's next, right? You get one thing, you're already like, okay, the plan's done, or okay, we built this, what's next? Yeah. So I feel like that's kind of how it started with this car collection growing. And kind of like I told you at the beginning, I had this really, really powerful passion for Japan, and when I saw Tokyo Drift, I was like, I need all of those. I need the Evo, the S15, the whatever. I needed all of it, and so I started figuring out what I was really passionate about. And I was just figuring out how can I get that, and how can I achieve that, and how can I share this passion that I have with the viewers that I do have, and hopefully inspire them and show them, that these things are possible.
Yeah. You're like the epitome of like living the dream. Like watching your stuff is like you have like the Evo, it's like the Fast and the Furious inspired Evo, right? It's like you're literally like just like doing all the things that you've dreamt of.
Right.
But I'm sure it hasn't all been easy too, right?
No,
I mean, what were some of like the biggest like challenges that you've faced doing this?
For sure. I mean, it's definitely the creative process and like staying true to what you do. It's very, very hard to, especially when starting out, to stay consistent and to constantly put yourself through like those hard, like, the best way to explain it, I have a very weird situation with this because I was, doing freelance as well as filming my own content. So, all of the stuff that I was doing was kind of being double filmed. So I was filming cinematically while also filming behind the scenes.
Right.
And this is what allowed me to be able to put all of my effort into my channel. So I was, kind of making money from my freelance that I was then dumping into my channel so that hopefully my channel would eventually work.
Yeah.
So it was really like I was up every night until 12, 3 a.m., constantly editing, making sure that, I had my content for the clients done, but also my own content done. So I think the consistency, always figure out how and what's next, and just being creative in that process too. It is challenging, especially when you're trying to create your own path for yourself.
Right.
There's a lot of hurdles to jump over, but I think if someone were to ask me like what's the most important part about the journey and how to, potentially, hopefully, make it here, it's the consistency.
Yeah.
People will see that maybe the numbers aren't there, or the time that it takes, it's consistency for sure.
Yeah. When did you first go to Japan then?
Oh my gosh, 2018? 2018, it was 2018 or 2019. This was a really awesome point in my life because, Japan has always been somewhere that I looked up to, and to get to go there for the first time, I was like, holy. I had purchased a car, my first ever like real Japanese car, and one of my dream cars forever, the R34 GT-R.
Yeah.
And in that, I created a really amazing partnership our friendship really with the guys over at Top Rank.
Yeah.
So Yaska and Brian and Sean, all of those guys really helped me out and, taught me about these old Japanese cars. And that's, I think, where the love came from for, vintage and classic Japanese cars. But I created this awesome friendship, and they had invited me to go with them for Auto Salon in it was 2018 or 2019. I believe it's 2019, I think. No, it's 2018.
Okay.
2018?
I think it was 2018.
2018. 2018. So I got to go to Auto Salon with them, and that was like changed my life forever.
Yeah.
Like I knew that like I want to be here. Like it's everything that I thought it was going to be and so much more.
And you did the Fuji Speedway thing with
Fuji
them and everything,
Speedway
right?
thing,
Did the whole...
Hakone, onsens, it opened my eyes to like, I need people to see this, right? Like I need people to know about this. Like this is what got me into cars and, Japanese culture in general. And like, I was so passionate about it. And I knew that like I had to share this with people.
And how did that video do?
It was amazing. So like, I don't know how this started, but I think when I got there, I was so like in awe of everything that I filmed every single day and shot my entire trip, not even planned to do that. Like I had never done daily videos before, but when I got there, I think I just had so much sensory overload. Like I have to show everything. So then I'm like, I don't know what I was doing or how it even came about, but people loved it. I literally showed everything from waking up, putting my pants on to eating to staying up until 5 a.m. with, some new friends I made out there. I showed everything. And I think that got a lot of eyes on the channel for sure.
So do you see a difference between Japanese tuning culture here and Japanese tuning culture in Japan? What's the biggest difference?
Absolutely. I would say it's hard because like, I'm not saying either one's better or worse or, whatever, but, just the care and like the meticulousness that, the Japanese tuners have. And it's just different, they go down to the hardware to make sure that has the best security for, your airbox housing. Yeah. If that bolt has better tightness than another, like they'll put that one on. It's unlike anything I've ever seen. Yeah. And so when I got there for the first time, I said, if at any point I'm able to, I have got to show how this works. And what is it like to really get your car built at a Japanese tuning shop? And you see everything from Initial D and Wangan Midnight, and they really are taking their cars out on the Wangan to go push them as hard as they can and tinker just a little bit to make it that much better. Yeah.
I was watching a Instagram video the other day, and
naturally,
this guy was saying, he was explaining Japanese fashion, right? And some of the things that he was saying about Japanese fashion, I thought applies to Japanese tuning as well. And the things that he listed was like, Japanese fashion suggests and not reveals. And I think that really says a lot about Japanese tuning too, because Japanese tuning, they don't like the obvious answer, right?
It's very subtle, very for instance, my R34, that car, if it weren't for the Midori green wrinkle RB26 cover, the car looks stock.
Yes.
But underneath it is a complete beast, right? And that's what I love so much, is it's very under the radar. They want it to look as clean and simple as possible. No flashiness, no bells and whistles. Well, there are bells and whistles, but it's very subtle, and that's what I love about it.
Right. The whole concept of like Built by Legends too is like that too, and Minds is like that too, right? It's like
OEM plus.
Yeah, OEM plus, right? And even the color, the paint is like, you have to look at it from, this angle to even tell the difference.
Exactly. Or like they have full carbon bumpers that is painted over and that you would never know until you, like you said, look at it the right way. But as cool as it is, like they want it to look like it's just factory.
Yeah. So who is Midori Seibi?
Midori Seibi is a legendary old school Japanese tuner from, back in the early days, like when GTRs were kings of the street still, the old 90s.
And so you actually have had your car built there.
Yes. So
cars, I guess.
Yeah, technically, yes. So on my first trip with Top Rank, we got to tour a bunch of different shops, which was awesome. That's another thing that's a lot different in Japanese tuning culture than in American tuning culture. These these shops with so much history. And I think that's what I love is, I grew up again with Initial D and Wangan Midnight, and it's kind of similar, not completely accurate, but it's kind of similar where like you can go to these old school shops that, help develop where these GTRs are today. And like you can see the history from the very beginning, which I think is so, so cool. And so we toured, Mines and all these different shops. Midori Seibi, I went there and I just had this really awesome experience and really awesome feel. It was like literally what I had envisioned a localized old school Japanese tuning shop to be. It was just this older gentleman and his wife, and his son is the mechanic, and a couple of other people. They have a really, really small, almost backyard, quote unquote, shop feel, but you go into the shop and it's this airtight, air sealed room where they build the engines. They have 5 or 6 GTRs that are being worked on and completely torn apart. You like walk in there and you're like, you can't even speak, right? And so they start telling me about their tuning philosophy, and it's, exactly what we spoke about. It's, getting the most power out of your car while being the most reliable that it can be, and just how they do it in this airtight, sealed room, and, why they use one part rather than another, or how they bore out the factory, whatever, to make it flow more efficient. And that I had never seen or heard of anything like that before. And so I told myself in this video that I made there too, is like, if I ever get the opportunity to own R34 GT-R, this is where I want the car built. And somehow, some way, a year later, that's exactly what we did.
So you, your friends at Top Rank.
Correct.
I know them pretty well too, but so what do they do for you to make your all these projects possible for you? Yeah,
so they are amazing. I've came to them with this idea that like I want to show the real Japan, and I want to help you guys out as well. I mean, they've given me tremendous help ever since I met them. Like I told you, they kind of taught me everything I know about these Japanese cars. And essentially what started out as, just buying cars from an importer turned into a really great friendship and partnership where now, anything, and especially for anybody, anything that you need, they can help you find. So I knew that I love GTRs, and GTRs were what I wanted to have, So I told them like, I want to give this experience to people and show them, not only can they, get cars from you guys, but also like I want to give them the experience that you're driving these cars around and showing them what the real Japan is like. So we made this awesome plan, and when I bought my GT-R, I was able to figure out a way to register the car using Top Rank, which they can now do for anybody, which is really, really cool, and drive my car around and also get it built at these shops. So they kind of help facilitate my trips and help me get in touch with shops that I may not be able to get in touch with from a language barrier or the context that they may have. So it's cool. They kind of help facilitate that barrier that I have being in America versus them being in Japan, and kind of helping I guess open the door for me to get into these places.
Your Japanese has gotten pretty good too, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's difficult. When I started, the basics are kind of, the basics are easy, but then yeah, exactly. But then and then you try and get into the conversation. You're like, there's 16 different ways to say something, and like, how do you know when the right place and time is to say this one thing. So, but it has been really cool. I'm able to go there and converse a little bit, and I can definitely understand more than I can speak. So I understand what they're saying, and I'm able to converse with them from that, which is really cool. And I feel like that also opens up some doors for me, because they see that I am passionate about it, and I have this want to like actually learn. And I feel like it also gives you a deeper experience being able to speak and understand them in their native language, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. You've owned several cars, but do you have any cars in Japan still right now, or are they all here?
No, I have a car in Japan, my Evo 5. So I had my R34 GT-R built in Japan. That was probably my all-time favorite build ever in the history of ever. And I knew that I couldn't let that car sit there.
What's done to the R34?
The R34 has the Midori Seibi high-spec RB26, the Midori Seibi R-Agosta suspension, and then some odds and ends that I've picked up in Japan, whether it's some body pieces, some Nismo R-Tune hood, some like real dream pieces. And essentially that car was the purpose of that build was to show my viewers and hopefully everybody that finds my channel what it was really like to have a car built there and to own a car in Japan. So going to all the legendary locations, Daikoku, Hakone, Mount Fuji, Scuba Circuit, all these places. I wanted to show people what it's really like, because we watch all these animes and, we show the Wangan Midnight and you see all these locations and like, it's real.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it was real.
Yeah.
And again, like I just had to show people like this is actually like these are real places, right?
Yeah.
So the whole purpose was to show them that. So I gave people an experience with that car, and in that, I knew I wanted to bring it back to America, and I couldn't bring it back as it is. I told myself when I saw Midori Seibi, I was like, I need to, number one, show people that what it's really like to get a car built there, but also like I wanted this car for all that it's given me. I knew that I like had to bring it back proper, and I wanted it like Uchinaga-san said, as much power as he can possibly get while keeping it as reliable and close to factory as it can get as well. Yeah. So that's where that build came from. But yeah, I have the Evo 5 there currently.
Nice. So you still have a car to drive when you go back to Japan?
Absolutely. I don't think I'll ever not have a car in Japan now. I've traveled the whole country. I've done Japan in advance. So from Hokkaido down to Cape Sata at the very, very bottom. I think I'm always going to have a car there. It's never ending. So many adventures to be had. Every nook and cranny of Japan has something to offer.
Yeah, yeah. Have you ever surfed in Japan yet?
No, but I want to. That's on the list. That is on the list.
You got to go to Chiba.
Yes, please.
Yeah, yeah. I try to go when I'm in Japan.
Really? Okay, I'm coming with you next time.
Kamagawa. Yeah, Chiba's good, and Kanagawa's good too.
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah,
it's good too. So close to a lot of shops. Right?
I can't even imagine. I can't that's on the list for sure.
So I saw, just changing gears a little bit. I saw you guys were at the Indy 500, right? Recently. I saw your video. At the Indy 500, I thought it was really cool. It was a great event. Like 7 million viewers.
It was crazy.
It was like one of the largest Indy 500s ever. But then I thought, okay, so the Indy 500, that whole place seats 350,000 people, right? And you have 832,000 people on your YouTube.
That's funny because we were talking about that while we were there. It was yeah.
So how does that make you feel though? You're there, you're invited by Bridgestone Firestone, and you're probably reaching more people than you can see around as the eye can see.
Like when you say that, like it doesn't really like process and like it doesn't compute until you're standing on the front straight of Indianapolis Motor Speedway and you look around you and you like can't even tell that there's people in seats because there's just so many. And when like I said, we talked about it. I literally said that. I was like, there's 350,000 people here, and some of our videos get 1 million or 100,000, and we have 830,000 people that are subscribed. It's like you can't even really fathom that number until you actually see it, and it's like how right? It's how. So like it's just a surreal experience, and like you said, like I mean, it's just who knows?
Yeah, I asked the same question to Larry Chen. He has 1 million, followers on Instagram. It's like, does that ever like? He didn't really have a clear answer as well, right? It's just like mind-boggling, right? It's just I can't believe it. I'm blessed, but it's crazy. Do you feel some sense of like responsibility that your voice has that much like reach?
I think with anything in this, there's always that sense of responsibility, and I hope I can be responsible for inspiring somebody or showing somebody that they can do something. There's always I don't want to say worry, but there's a sense of pressure.
Yeah.
I feel like as well. But if there's any takeaway from what I do or what I show on the channel is that you can do it. I was just some kid in Mississippi that decided to pick up a camera, and I had a really strong passion for film and for cars, and I followed that passion and really stayed true to myself and did what I loved and pushed for it. And I hope that anybody that watches the channel or hears my story can also have that sense of that they can do it, whether it's wanting to be a YouTuber or wanting to be an astronaut, it's staying true to you and, pursuing that passion that you have.
So you do brand deals, right? So
yes.
like any other YouTuber, how do you strike that balance between authenticity
Sure.
and trying to promote a product? Or is that, I feel like, like if you're out there just like promoting, it's not you, right?
Correct.
But if it's a product that you really love and respect, then it's pretty authentic, right?
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like it's a lot, I don't want to say easier, but it's a lot more accepted now, because to do what we do, it takes a lot. And, we have budgets and, we got to figure like all these cars cost money, all these parts cost money. But to your question, it's always a balance of, does this fit with what we're doing? And, is this something that I would truly use and give to my family, my wife, whatever, like, are we using this stuff? Right.
Yes.
And so I have a really awesome team. Jessica helps me manage all of my partnerships, my brand deals, everything. And so it kind of goes through her first, and then we, make that decision whether, or not we're going to do it. And I've had, thankfully I've had the opportunity to work with some amazing partners, sponsors, things that we actually do use every day in the shop.
Yeah.
So it's definitely finding a line, but also doing things that are going to help you in your business too, right? Because like as much as it is fun, it's also a business.
Yes.
And you have to sometimes make sacrifices or do things for the business to help you get to that next step.
Yeah. So as a creator and influencer, you're also an entrepreneur, as you say. It's a business, right? What does your team look like? You mentioned Jessica.
Yeah.
Like who do you have on staff?
Yeah,
who helps you do the things that you do?
I mean, I think everybody has, this team of people that they need to, help. And there's not one. I could definitely not do this on my own. So we have a really awesome team and a really small team. So I have Jessica, and along with Jessica, she helps my partnership, but also helps me manage Legends, which is the apparel side of it. And in that, we have like 2 or 3 employees that help, ship and customer service and all that. And then as far as the shop side, it's just Tim and I. I have Tim in the shop that helps. He's kind of my quote unquote shop manager, crew chief, does the one of everything, jack of all trades, really. I mean, he's in the shop with me every day. He's at the track with me, making sure that's going well. So at the root of it, it's 3 of us.
Okay.
Me, Jessica, and Tim.
And how about like the production side? Do you do still everything? Do you shoot and edit?
I shoot and edit everything. I do. That's something that I do think that I want to get help with, but it's really hard for me. Coming from that freelance videography and photography background, I love the process. I love sitting down in my office and cranking out a really badass edit. And because they also it's just like it's coming from my brain, right? I'm shooting this and it's like in my head. While I'm shooting, I'm like, oh, this is going to look really cool. So I'm going to get this shot. And it's like, if I hand that off, they don't have that, what's in here. But also, going back to my other point, it's a business. In order to scale your business, you have to offload, so I have more capacity over here.
Yes.
And for a creator, it's really, really hard.
Yeah.
Because I can do it all,
Mhm.
right? So why would I hand it off to somebody?
Right.
But also, if I had a little bit extra time, could I be creating more ideas, or doing these other things to help get us, a step further, right?
Right. Right. Yeah, that's. I think that's. I've talked to a lot of creators here, and in the past, but I think that's the hardest part, right? Because you have to offload a part of your creative process from shooting to completion to someone else.
I know, it's so
Right?
hard. It's
Yeah.
like your brain child, right, is like on this little memory card, and you're like, I know what's coming right now, and then
Yeah.
you hand that off, and it's like it could be something completely different. But I think that also goes back, with building a team and creating a relationship, and hopefully at one point with working enough, they can kind of get your style and even potentially make it even better.
Yeah.
So
How do you approach video production, though? Do you start from the car or like a storytelling perspective? How does that work?
it depends. It depends on the build. Right now I'm actually doing a pretty cool series with my AE86. It's a new car for me, and it was an unexpected purchase. So for this one, we didn't really have like a build plan for it. So like for the NSX, that's a car that I've wanted my whole life. And when I was able to score this in Japan, like I created this entire build plan, so I kind of know what's happening. I know what's coming. So for that one, we started with the car and built that plan from the car. But for the 86, I'm kind of taking a different approach and kind of wanting to go back to my roots of just at my core being a car guy. So really bringing back the meaning of what a project car is. No matter if you're building this crazy, twin turbo Ferrari GT3 body kit car, or you're doing an oil change in your garage, a project's a project, and it's what you make it. So I kind of wanted to show that with the 86 and, start from the basics. I bought this car and I was like, oh, the only way to know what's going to break on this thing is to push it to its limit. So let's take it to the track. So I took it to the track, and sure enough, it broke. We fixed it, and now it's at the shop, and we, started from basics, doing fluid changes and just showing what the everyday person can do, in their own garage.
What's the build concept for the 86?
The build concept is a project car. Like that's I don't know. It's a project car. You're just gonna add on to it. It's like you get the car you've been looking for a long time, and you're just like, now what? And that's the point. The car is awesome. It was imported from Japan. The previous owner had it for 13 years. He saw my video and was like, hey, I didn't want to let this go, but I've seen that you want one. And so I'm starting from a really great base that definitely needs some work, and just going and seeing what the car needs. And just, like I said, back to the roots of what a project car is.
Are you planning to, so when you build these cars, do you plan to like take them to shows or, to SEMA, or are you planning some kind of a big reveal?
Sure. Yeah. So again, like I feel like it kind of depends on the build of it, but yeah, we do a little bit of everything. I started out in car shows, so I love a good car show.
Yeah.
But some of these we do work with our amazing partners on to be able to bring them to SEMA. So I believe this year, am I allowed to say what's going to SEMA? I got something going to SEMA.
Okay.
It's going to be cool.
All
and
right.
So, some of them go to SEMA. Some of them are built to go to SEMA. Some of them are built for me to have fun with. I mean, they're all built for me to have fun with.
Right.
But some do have a specific purpose like that. And every year we actually do throw this really awesome charity car show, and I bring out a few of the builds that we do from the year so people can check them out, and we give back to a charity that we choose for the year. So they're always out and about. I love to drive the cars that I build. So if I have a chance to take them out, I will.
Speaking of fun, you've dabbled in motorsports too, right? A little bit. Like what kind of track experience and what kind of races have you challenged.
Yeah. So along with building the cars, I've developed this intense love for racing. And this happened 5-ish years ago when I built my S2000. Shout out to Art of Attack. They had a huge hand in getting me out on track. So I started out just doing your local everyday track days, which then spiraled into starting to join into some time attack competitions like Global Time Attack, Grid Life, that kind of stuff. And, through the years of me doing this, again, I've gained some really amazing partnerships. And with Bridgestone, I had probably one of my coolest experiences was racing in One Lap of America, which was a 4,000-ish mile road trip across America to like 10, 12 different tracks. Every day was a different track, and we had one set of tires for all 4,000 miles, all track days to race across. And, we were racing all during, from 7 to 10 or 7 to 12, and then from 1 to midnight driving the 10 hours to the next track. And we came in third place in that, which was incredible. So Time Attack eventually moved into wheel to wheel. So I went to Radford Racing School, got my competition racing license, and now I'm racing in some wheel to wheel races, whether it's endurance. This year we actually competed in a 4-hour endurance race at Fuji Speedway.
Oh, nice.
Which was awesome. And more recently I have joined the POC, which is Porsche Owners Club, and I'm racing in the wheel to wheel spec Boxster class currently.
Oh, cool. Do you have any aspirations of, doing IMSA or
absolutely? So the whole goal and the idea and my hope, my next journey is hopefully to be in some sort of professional racing series, whether it's IMSA, Sprint Challenge, something along those lines. And it's a very, very big dream, but again,
hey man, you're the guy that realizes dreams, so just go for it, man.
If I've taught myself anything, is that I can freaking do it. So we can figure it out.
Yeah. Okay, that's awesome. We have some rapid fire questions for Dustin.
Oh boy,
this is a segment that we have. It's called Rapid Fire on the Creative Drive. Just whatever comes to mind. Okay.
Okay.
First car you ever owned?
Civic.
Dream car, no budget, no rules.
GT-R S.
Favorite kombini onigiri?
Tuna mayo.
Tuna mayo, yeah. Track day or canyon run?
Oh, jeez. That's a tough one. Track day.
Favorite mod you've ever done to a car?
Tomei exhaust on my Super WX.
One tool in your garage you can't live without?
Torque wrench.
Favorite Japanese word?
Hi.
Most underrated car of all time?
Most underrated car of all time. Oh my gosh. A86.
If you weren't doing what you do now, what would you be doing?
I'd like to say something in the film industry, but probably be a cop.
Who would play you in a movie?
Oh my gosh. John Krasinski.
What's one thing people misunderstand about you?
I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Just a kid from Mississippi. So I'm figuring it out and, doing it along the way.
All right. Very good. Thank you, Dustin. Okay. Well, thanks for your time. And congrats, man. I've been following you on YouTube and, since we met couple of years ago. You're a guy that just living the dream, man. It's just awesome to see you grow your audience, and what you're doing is really, it's overused, but it's authentic, and just keep on doing what you're doing, man. Last I got a couple questions. Okay. This segment is called Who's Boosting It? Who's boosting it? It's I want to hear your thoughts on creators that are doing good, killing it. Who are the creators that are boosting it right now? Brands and events. Let's start with creators. Out of all the guys out there and gals out there that are creating content, who do you think is killing it right now?
I have a couple really, really good ones. And firstly, I want to say Devin Niemela. He's been a friend for a very, very long time. This is a one-man show.
Okay.
Does everything on his own. Like, I'm talking home-built guy.
Okay.
Gets his hands dirty, can figure anything out, bodywork, engine, everything. He's currently, I don't know if I'm sure you've seen it. You're a social media guy like me.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay. Have you seen his most recent build?
No, I have not.
He purchased the wrecked 992 GT3 RS that went viral on social media. The one that like was going down that windy road and hit the tree.
Oh, he bought that one?
He bought that car. And he's rebuilding it currently. But beyond just that, he really has built everything he owns from the ground up.
Yeah.
And it's really, really cool to see him where he started to where he's at now, just growing and growing. And then
Go follow him.
yeah, definitely check out Devin. And then another one, which I've never met him or anything. I just found him online. Prism Mike. Have you heard of Prism Mike?
No, I don't.
Prism Mike is he's I feel like newer. Maybe I want to say newer. But another one of these guys that is just, he very, very home built, homegrown. He's still working in his home garage, building these really cool drift style JDM cars.
Okay.
Another guy to look out for. He's absolutely crushing it.
So just going off a little bit on this question, but like how do new guys come out, right? So like when you came out on the scene, YouTube was growing and social media was growing, and it was sort of like, I think you were at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
With no disrespect to
Absolutely,
the guys that started at your own time, but like you guys, like, you and your peers, like just kind of like were able to catch that wave.
Yep.
A lot of people couldn't catch the wave, but you caught the wave, and now it's very saturated, right? The platforms, the algorithms against you, right? Like, how do you like, what do you have to say for younger creators out there that are trying to like make it in the space?
Yeah, that's a really difficult one. Especially because, like you said, back when we started, we had no clue that this was going to be here. But my biggest piece of advice is consistency and staying true. You have to. The thing about it is you can't want it because you want the money and the fame and the views. You have to want it because you love it. You have to love it, and you have to be passionate about it, because people, especially now with, like you said, how oversaturated it is, can see right through it.
Right.
My biggest piece of advice is to stay consistent and do what you love. As cliche, as corny as it sounds, that is my truest answer. From experience, that's exactly what I did. I loved what I was doing. I was consistent. I was passionate about it, and somehow I found my way here.
Yeah.
And right now it is oversaturated. It is tough, but staying consistent, not paying attention to those view numbers, and just doing it because you love it goes a long, long way. And you're one video away.
Yeah.
That's, and I tell myself that too. You're one video away from making something happen.
Right.
So put it out. Do it. If it sucks, if you think it sucks, it doesn't suck.
Yeah. Put
it out. You're one video away.
Great answer. Brands. Who's boosting it right now?
Brands, as far as
any brand. It doesn't even have to be auto. Like who's killing it on content or social? Or...
Oh my gosh, Speed. So I guess that's another YouTube channel, I guess.
The Speed with 3 E's?
Yeah.
Speed. Okay,
Speed. I guess that's not really a brand, but Speed. I love Speed. I love Speed.
No, he's him and
brands
and Jesse.
Killing it.
Yeah.
What's it called? Race Service. Race Service is really cool.
Oh, Race Service.
Yeah, Race Service.
Man, we need to get James and Jacob on here.
Those guys are on another level.
You're like the third person who said Race Service.
Really?
Yes.
Really? Yeah. So I'm gonna head there tomorrow, and I'm so bad. I never really pay attention to anything. I'm always like stuck in my little world here, and try and watch other people's stuff and try and get out there. But Race Service is one that I see everywhere.
Yeah.
So
I was just there like 2 weeks ago for one of their events, and it was just like, these guys are killing it. Yeah. Events. Who's killing it?
Oh my gosh, Grid Life. You've heard of Grid
Yeah.
Life.
Oh, yeah. We've had Chris Stewart on the show.
I foresee Grid Life being one of the largest motorsports events in the entire world in the near future.
Yeah.
Like, they are just on another level. Those guys are incredible. Their whole team is so impressive. Their event. How do you have wheel-to-wheel racing, time attack, drifting, HPDE, as well as a full-on EDM concert going on? This is real Forza, right?
Yes.
So if there's any shout out that I can give, Grid Life is the event, is the place to be.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, TJ is a participant as well, right?
so you know.
So, yeah.
He knows.
Yep, exactly. All right. Dustin, thanks so much for coming into the studio. It was a total pleasure having you here. Can you tell our audience, the racer audience, how do they follow you? How do they,
Taro, thank you. Before I even say that, thank you. You're also one of the inspirations that has got me to where I'm at today, seeing all that you've accomplished in media and everything. It's really inspiring. So thank you. But for all of you guys watching, you can find me on my YouTube channel, Dustin Williams, as well as on Instagram and TikTok. On Instagram and TikTok, Dustin W. I love to build race cars, show a little bit of life. So if any of that stuff sounds cool to you, come check it out.
All right, Dustin Williams, thank you so much for being on the Creative Drive. This is a total pleasure for me, man.
Thank you so much. We'll do it again.
All right. Johnny. Thanks for watching and listening to The Creative Drive, where we offer listeners a candid look into the minds of automotive creators and their journeys. The Creative Drive is available on all podcast platforms, and we have more awesome guests lined up for you guys, so please subscribe so you don't miss any episodes. If you're interested in partnering with us, or if you have any feedback, please email us at podcast@racer.com or DM us in our Instagram. The Creative Drive is produced by Molly Binks from Racer Studio, directed by TJ Keon, creative director George Tamayo, and edited by Andrew Snyder. We've got new Nick, OG Nick, and Morgan on the socials. I'm your host, Taro Koki. Thanks for watching again, and we'll see you next time.